Okay, so it's 5:07 now. How? Because so far Selena joined, right? So no one else joined yet. So I can start with you. So do you have any question or concern regarding any topics? Yesterday, I mean, last about
No,
last group session or in the
no,
class. Okay, so
no.
should I go? Okay, so I can proceed. I was explaining OOP concept last time, so I can proceed. Is that what you want, or you want something else?
Yeah, that's fine. I think
Okay,
somebody else
sure.
just joined.
So okay, so yeah, brother Hilal also joined.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I just joined
yes,
you guys.
brother. Yeah, how you doing?
Good, good, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. So before I start, do you have any question or concern? Is there any question or concern from any one of you?
No, I think this session is going well, and we just want to listen to you, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is the last session, last group session for Java. But as I mentioned, we will have some recovery session for Java. So basically, we are still missing data structure. We are missing all the techniques of OOP, and then what else? And then Java exception, and some other topics. I mean, you have given the syllabus, right? So whatever in the syllabus, I have not covered everything. So as I mentioned, we will have some recovery class, and we will cover all of those in those sessions, inshallah.
Are we going to still have the Saturday by Brother Tariq this Saturday, Sunday, or no?
Not Sunday, Saturday, I believe. So Saturday is the last class, and Sunday you have to join because there will be some announcement. So I think by tonight or tomorrow, Brother Murshid or Brother Samsu will post some announcement on the group chat, so you can follow that as well.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have a question because I was trying to do the same thing. I created a new project called Session 10, and then I
Okay.
created a package called OOP. And as soon as I did that, remember how last time I had the package info.java, that file created automatically. So can you take a look at it?
Sure, why not? Okay, so
So this is the session I created as this is my new project. Then I went to source SRC and I right clicked on it and I clicked on package, create a new package. Then I named it OOP. As soon as I did that, this is the screen open and this is what I got, package info.java. Remember last time I went and renamed it, but every time I do it, this is what it creates. And looks like it's
okay.
different.
So can you do one thing? Can you I mean delete this and create that in front of me again?
Yeah, so how do I delete it? Just click on right click and delete?
So just yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Do
you
you want
have
me to
session
delete? Do you
10.
want me to? Yeah. And then I right click on SRC source, and then I went new package, and then I did. And this is what it creates.
Okay. Yeah, I mean some weird scenario. I have no idea.
Okay.
But
I mean, I can
let me
also
check.
rename. I can go back and rename it, but I was like, this is something
No, no, you
I've
don't
been.
have to. Just let me try. I mean, I'm trying to
Okay.
do the same to see if OOP should.
Sister, do you right click on source or what when you create the package?
Yeah, I right click on source right
Okay.
here,
Okay.
and then I go to new, and then I go to class.
No, you want to do a package.
Okay, can
You
you?
want to do a class or package?
I'm sorry, I did package first. I did package.
Okay.
Okay,
As soon as
so
I click on
this is.
package, and this is what I
Can
get.
you delete this package
Mhm.
again
Sure.
and delete OOP?
Do you
So
want
right
me? Okay.
click on source.
Uh-huh.
Do
And
it
J,
slowly, okay? So right
okay.
click on
So
source.
JRE system library, that's automatically creates, right? As soon as I create the
Yeah,
project.
yeah,
Okay.
that should be there.
Okay. So I right clicked on it. I went to new, and then I went to package right here. I'm going to click
Yeah.
on it, and then
So now,
all
wait a
over.
second. Wait a
No,
second.
no, no, no.
Wait a
Yoba,
second.
Yoba.
Oh, I
Can
see.
you
It
click
says right
on the
here.
checkbox?
Yeah. Yep. That's why. Okay. I see it. I had clicked on it before, I guess, create a package.info. So now finish. It won't do it now. Okay, great. Thank you. I needed seconds or why, I
No.
guess. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Yes, brother Hilal, do you have any question?
No, no. I was just trying to see what she did. Just trying to help. That's about it.
Okay. Okay. So
How many classes are
overreach,
you
overload.
creating today? So far, I just have one package. Are we creating any class too or no for project 10?
What is the question? I didn't get it.
For project 10, I just created a
Uh-huh.
package called OOP. Are we creating any
Okay.
class? Because I didn't see your screen.
Yes, yes. We will create some more classes.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So I'm not going to recap them. Instead, I'm going directly to the overreach. So last time what we did, we started explaining object-oriented programming language concept, OOP concept, and we discussed about inheritance. Inheritance has two kinds of relationships. One is called user relationship, and one is called has a relationship, right? And we started explaining polymorphism. So we have given some definition of polymorphism and how it works and how superclass and subclass are related to each other. Those features in the last session we talked about those features, right? So today so polymorphism, there are four basic features in polymorphism. Those are override, overload, hiding, and shadowing, right? So we'll start explaining these one by one. We can start with overload, see how it works. So once again, it's a feature of polymorphism. For that, I'm going to Eclipse and for this we just need one class is fine. So here I have a OOP. Okay, so I can create actually one more class called main. So right click on S10 and click on class and give the class name as main. And instead of main method, I can actually keep this um, static main method, right? That makes sense. And if I run it, it should run test. It should print test. Okay. Now I'm going back to OOP and trying to create a function or a method, right? So overload, whenever we tell the term overload, that means we are referring a method. That means overloading a method. So how can we create a method? Can anyone help me to create a method? Public. I just want to write a function. Anyone? No?
Yes, brother. I just I stepped out and came back. What was your question?
I want to create a method. So how can I do that?
It
Just
depends what you want to
public.
return. Like if you want to return something, or you do want to return, do you want
Oh,
to
okay.
return anything?
Okay. So void. Let's say I
Void,
don't want to return anything. So void,
and then you can give
and
a name
then
of the
just give a name. Okay. So let's say
uh,
what do you want to
number.
do? Any
I don't know.
number.
And
Okay.
parentheses. If you don't,
Okay.
that's it. And
All
then
right.
early braces. Yeah.
Okay. And then you can just print something.
Sorry, I'm running into another issue now. It doesn't let me even type on my Eclipse now that I didn't click on it. The package thing I
Okay.
unclicked on.
So
So
double
now,
click on the class name and double click on the screen again. You should be able to do it. Just double click here and then double click here.
I just created the package, right? OOP. So you want me to create a class?
Okay. So let me see your screen, and I can hear some noise. I think it's from brother Hilal. There's
Yeah,
some noise
I'm not saying
coming.
anything.
Okay.
Okay. You hear
So
some? I'll
just
mute
just let
myself.
me know. Yes, so you can show me now. Yes,
Okay,
and I can see
so
your
when
screen.
I click on it, it's like I cannot even, how before if I click on the class, I can actually go
So
here.
you have created a package, right? Now you have to
Right.
create a class. So click on new and click on class.
What do you want me to name it?
uh, Main, MAIN.
You want me to name it what? Main? Okay.
Main.
Main, MAIN. M should be capital. So class name always start with capital letter,
Starts with
right?
capital, yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
you have a main method. I mean class. So create one more class. You can call it OOP. O should be capital. Okay. All right.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So you
So
have
the
two class now.
package that OOP we created, how does this, like, what's the difference between,
So
like, I created two classes. What's the function
yeah,
between OOP?
I gave the package name S10, but you
Okay,
wrote OOP. But that's fine. Don't worry.
okay, got it. I can rename it. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Problem. So you welcome. So now I think you can see my screen. So brother Hilal just created a function, and it's a void, right? And well, okay, and it just prints something. Let's say one, right? Then now the now can I create one more function with the same name? Yes or no? Is it possible?
Yes.
Okay. So can I copy it and paste it? And I'm getting arrow now. It's saying duplicated method number. So you said that is possible, right? But I'm getting error now.
No, I say you have to change the name.
Maybe instead of void, you can maybe do public string or something, or not exact same.
Okay. Okay. So this is where the overload comes into the picture, right? So let's write some note about overload. Let's do it right here, right? So overload, right?
Have we covered
So
override, or this started with overload, right?
no, we have started with overload.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Okay. So overload. Whenever you have a same method name with a different parameter, is called the overload. So, I mean, two things. One is same method name with different parameter, and two, access modifier and return type are not an issue here. I will explain what I wrote here, but try to understand this first. Same method name with different parameter, right? And we have to know, we have to understand what is a method signature as well, right? So let me write that term here, method signature. So, so method signature is the method name along with the parameter. So what is the name of the method here in this function right here? What is the name of the method?
Number.
Number, right? And I do not have any parameter inside. So let's say I'm giving one parameter. Let's say int x, right? So now I have a parameter, right? So this portion right here is called method signature. Method name along with parameter list is called the method signature. This is the method signature, right? Method name along with method parameter. In this case, the parameter is empty, but this empty parameter along with the method name can be referred as method signature, right? So
Yes.
now we know what method signature is. So whenever we want to create overload, whenever we want to make some overload method, that means you are creating method with this same method name. But we just have to keep in mind that the signature must be different. The method signature must be different, right? So let's say, can I copy this and paste it? Is it possible or not?
No.
Will I get any error?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, no. It's not possible
So
because
you can say
right here,
int a,
the
integer a.
okay, so you are trying to change the method signature, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, just try to understand. This is nothing, right? This is just a variable name. It's not changing anything. It can be x, x, y, z, or any
So
value,
if
right?
you put a,
You
it's still
write,
we still have the problem. Let's see. Oh, we
yeah.
still
I
have it.
mean, it doesn't make. I mean, a, it's just a name of a. How to explain? It's just a name of a variable.
So
It doesn't
maybe
matter
we
if you write.
can we do boolean, or can we do something else other than int? One
Yeah,
is
You
int
mean
and
double?
double, yeah. Can
exactly. If you write double now,
then
now
only
it's
work.
saying the method signature is different.
Question, brother Alan.
Previously, the math, yes,
Let's say the second one, instead of putting double, you put int x, comma, int y. Will that change it?
of course, in that time, the method signature is different, right?
It's different. Okay.
So just we have to keep in mind that the signature has to be different. So what is signature? Method name along with parameter. So since method name has to be same, we cannot change it here. So all change we need to make inside of this parenthesis, right? So now we have double x. It's not complaining because the method signature is different, right? So we have a empty method here, right? I mean, this method signature, it does not have any parameter. It has one parameter. It also has one parameter, but the type is different, right? Now you asking, can I have something like this? In, so I'm getting error because previously I have the same method signature, right? So can I have int x comma int y. Of course, this is possible because now I have a different method signature,
Okay.
right? Okay. So how about if I write int x, right? So if I have a method like this, one parameter, but with a different type, instead of int, right? If I write string, again, I can write it, right?
Yes.
Yes. So how about now, if I copy this, paste it here, I'm getting error because previously I have the same method signature, but before string s, if I write int x, let's say, right? So this is also possible, right? Int x
Yes.
string y.
Yes. One more question,
Because
brother.
I never, sure.
Let's say you change the void to you want to return something. That would, even if you still have int x, that's fine, right? So
Excellent.
if you have,
Yeah, very good question. Very good question. That's the reason this line I wrote here. I wrote here access modifier and return type are not an issue here, right? So what is
yes,
access modifier? Access modifier is this. Instead of public, if you write private or if you write protected, right? So whatever you write, right? These are called the access specifier, right? So this
yes,
along with the return type. What is return type? This is return type. It can be void, it can be int,
and
it can be
yes,
person, it can be anything, right? So
yes,
here I said that these two things are not an issue. So you don't, I mean, just don't look at it. Why? If you make change of it, it will not make any change. Let's say you copied this and paste it here. Now you are getting error because of same method signature, right?
yes.
Now, if you make void to int, will it make it any different? No, no different,
No different.
right?
Okay.
If you make public to private, will it make any different? No, no different.
No,
Okay, so
I
we
see.
have to keep this in mind that access specifier and return type are not an issue here. And what is overload? Same method name with different parameters, or in other words, different method signatures.
I get it. Okay.
Okay. Now, can you tell me this is possible or not? So I have public void number int x string y, right? And I have one more like this. So my question is, I'm getting error now because of int x and string y, right? So if I make this int to string and this string to int, will it work or not?
Yes,
Mm,
because it would be different. It's not going to be same anymore.
Okay, but it's still one integer and one
So
string,
it would
right?
be, yeah, but it would be the opposite. So int x string y, then you'll have string x int y.
Okay, yeah, very good. So yes, so that will make a method signature a different method signature.
let
So
me
this
ask you:
is
is
also
that an
possible.
array? Like the parameter inside? Is it an array like index 0, index 1, or no? In this case,
Where
like the parameter inside.
where is it?
No, no. I'm just saying the param. When you switch them, how do they differentiate? How could they differentiate between them? The program
Okay,
between.
because the first parameter is integer here, and the second parameter is string, and
Mm,
here the first parameter is string, second parameter is int.
yeah, it's different than the array. You know how the array we have like index 0, index 1,
Yeah,
index.
but this is not array, right? This is not array.
Yes, but
This is
similar.
just two parameters, one
Okay.
method with two parameters, two inputs, right?
Yes. So
Remember,
it can
if
differ. It
if
can.
I want to
Go ahead.
if I want to create a function to add two numbers, what do we do?
It'll be
Public void add. Then we take two numbers, right, as an input, int x and int y, right?
yes.
And later we can add those result equal x plus y, and then we can simply return the result.
Yes.
So this is how we do it, right? So we are not dealing anything with array here, right? We need two parameters, two numbers. That's why we have two parameters. If
Okay.
I tell that the function can take three numbers, what I have to do? Int x, int y, and then int z, right? Now my function can take three numbers, and I can, let's say this function is a special function. First it adds x and y, and it subtract z. So in that case x plus y minus z, right? And I can simply return the result. And if I have one more, what I will do? Int a, right?
Why does it minus z?
He
Oh, because
just
you put it. Oh yeah, you changed
yeah.
it. Okay, got it.
So we can have as many parameter as we need, right? We can have those, right? And
I
as
don't know. Is
many
there a
types
limit? Is
if
there a
we need.
limit how many parameters you can have?
No, no limit, unlimited,
Unlimited. Okay.
right?
Can you just copy and
Okay,
paste the
so
last part on the chat, please? Yeah, thank you.
I mean this part right here or this?
Just the last part where it says public int add, that part.
Oh, okay, this one. In the chat room, right? Okay, so chat room. Okay, all right. So now I have. Okay, so let's delete this. I don't need this actually. And now I will ask you some question. So this static, right? And number in string. I don't need double. Let's delete this. And I have two int, and then two string. I can have int string, string int, and two string, right? Okay, done. And let me create a. Actually, take off this space so that I can have some space. And I need a main method, so let's copy this and paste it here. And see number. Well, run it. Okay, and make all this static so that we don't have to create any object to call this function, right? So I made all this static. Okay, now I will. So this is my main method, right? This is my main method, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 method here, right? And if you notice, all the name of all 7 methods are same: number, 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 number. But the parameter is different. That means different method signature, right? So this is called the overload. Okay, and why we do we need overload functions? Sometimes we need to create same method but different implementation. In that time, we need to create overload function, right? So different implementation. I mean what? So the method body will be different. Let's say for the sake of understanding, we can just simply change this 1 to 2. So it's a different implementation now, right? So if this method is printing 1, this method will print 2, right? This method will print 3. I mean, for just understanding, I mean, the method is doing something else, not performing the same task. Just try to understand that this method is doing something else, not as like other methods.
Now,
So
brother
now my
Alam,
question,
what when you call it, do you have to specify? How can you specify it then? Let's say you wanna
exactly,
call, huh?
right? Yeah, that is where I'm going now. So when you
Oh,
call it, now how can you specify, right? Very good
yes.
question. So now let's say I'm saying, so here I want to say int 1 and I want to run the program. Now can you tell me what will be printed on my console? What it will print in the console?
I'm thinking 2
2, why?
because it's the only one with the int one int variable, int x.
Excellent. So let's check. Yes, it says 2. Okay, you are right. How about if I write a number, then 1 comma 1? What it will print now?
4.
Okay, let me try. Excellent. Okay. So now let me try. If I write number, right, and then if I write 1 and 1. So Sister Selena, can you tell me what it will print now?
I got a little confused where you are because I didn't see you change the number. So number one is it coming from line number 6?
Line number 6. Yes. Line
Okay.
number 6, line number 9, line number 12, and so on. Right?
Okay. So
Okay.
if you have 1 and 1, then you're just adding two numbers together. So it'd be 2 or no?
Okay. So okay. First of all, so I wrote here number, right? That means
Mm-hmm.
I am calling a method from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I wrote number, which number it will call? I can see that I have 7 methods with the same name. Now
Right.
which one it will pick?
Um,
So which?
from the top of the
Mhm.
list. So it will call
Yes.
number 6 first, line number 6 first, and then it will do line
No.
number.
Here, sister, here you have to check the parameter, right? So what kind of parameter is this?
Take a look at the double quotes, Sister Sonia.
Okay.
Okay.
So
What is the
let's
double quotes?
let's make it easy. Okay, 1 second. So now I have a method here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of parameter I have in this in this function?
This is a string, right? Because it's
Excellent. This is a string. So
uh-huh.
now I have to find a method called number with a string parameter, right?
Mm-hmm. Which
So
is going to
can
be
you see
x. Yes, it's going to be
from
3.
here to here? Can you see
It's going to be
3?
3. Yeah, 3, and then
Excellent. Okay.
maybe
So let
5
me
too, or
try now.
no? Okay.
Why 5?
Because I looked at
5
it's
has 2
5.
string.
Okay,
It has
yeah,
2
yeah.
string parameter,
Right,
but you
because
have
it
1
wouldn't
string
take.
parameter.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So let me try now. Okay. You said 3. Excellent. So the question was before I asked what it will
Mm-hmm.
print now, right? So now I'm
Mm-hmm.
making this same. So first check how many parameters it has and what is the type of those parameters.
Okay, so let's see.
First of all, how many parameters I have?
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, total of 7. Right?
Okay, so in this function, how many parameters I have?
2.
2. Okay. So do you have 2 parameters in this 7 method? I have one here. Okay. One here, 2. Okay. 3, 4. So from these 4, one it will pick one of these, right? Now check here. Is it a string or int?
This is a int. 1 is an int.
But is it under quotation mark or not?
Well, string. Yes, it's under quotation mark, so string.
Okay. So is this a string too?
Yes.
Okay. So I have one string followed by another string, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there any function that is one string followed by another string?
That would be line number 17.
Excellent.
So it would
if
print
I
out
run
5.
the program, what it will print?
It will print out 5.
Okay,
Okay, I get it. Thank you.
No problem.
You can ask me one more question just to check my.
Oh, I mean, to ask you one more question? Sure.
Yes,
So
that I
now,
know that I understood.
Okay. So now here I'm making a little change. Instead of this quotation mark, I'm taking this quotation mark off. And now I am asking you what it will print.
Okay, so I'm looking for int, and it has to be only one int. No, one int and one string. So it's going to print number 20.
Excellent.
So which
what
is
it will
6.
print? What is the number?
6.
Okay, let me check. Okay. Yes. 6.
Okay, I get it now.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. So, Brother Hilal, can you tell me if I made this change right here, instead of 1 and 1, if I take off everything, I have empty now, what it will print? Brother Hilal,
1.
can you
The first one, 1.
1. Okay, let me try. Okay, it printed 1. Right? So now we understood how overload works, right? Is there any confusion to anyone?
No, it's clear, brother.
Is super clear, right? So
Yeah,
I mean, we have to keep only these 2 things in mind. One is same method name with different parameter, right? We can also think this as different method signature. As we know, what is method signature? Method name. What is method signature? Method name along with its parameter, right? So this is called the method signature. So this we have to keep in mind. And second, we have to keep in mind that access modifier and return type are not an issue. We don't even have to look at those. I don't care about this, right? All I care about this portion. I have to see if the number, if the this is same or not, and if I can make different method signature. I mean, the argument has to be different. So before I move to override, I want Brother Hilal to give me one more function, one more method with the same name, and Sister Selena too also. One more. I just want to make one more method with different parameters.
I believe there's somebody else joined too.
Okay, I believe
Siddiq.
Brother Siddiq joined. Yes, Brother Siddiq.
Assalamu alaikum. I just joined. Yeah.
Assalamu
Because I was late. It was traveling.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So don't worry. Yeah. So I'll share the video. So don't worry. You can recover it from the video.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I recommend you look at it. Very important stuff, Brother Sadiq. Very excellent stuff.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So you want us to? So we can do the same with the same method name. You said.
Sure, just make a overload method. So with the name number, right?
Yeah, can you copy that one and then we just say number, public static
Okay,
void
sure.
number. Yeah.
And then
Number, and then you said you want Sister Selena to give the parameter, or no? You want me to give?
no. I want you to complete this, and Sister Selena will make one more.
Oh, okay. So number, we can have a string x int y,
Okay.
the parameter,
Int y.
comma int w.
Excellent. Okay. Yes, you done it. So maybe let's make it 8. Yes, you did it. So Sister Selena, can you give one example of overload method?
Sure. So you can just copy public static void
Okay.
number, and then int a.
Delete this, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Int a,
Comma,
comma,
int b,
int b.
string c.
Excellent. Okay. So you did it successfully. So this is also a overload method, right? Because the method signature is different. Nowhere I can see that two integers
Are same.
followed by a string, right? No, I mean nowhere. Two integers followed by a string. This is the only one. So in that time, we can now claim it. This is a overload method. And what is the possibility that in the interview, when you will face interview for the job, the possibility to ask a question from overload is, I will tell, 80%. 80% possibility that they will ask you a question from overload. Now you know it, so you can answer it very simply. All right. So we will discuss about interview later in the boot camp. Don't worry about those now.
Yeah,
Just try
brother,
to
can you
focus on
copy
the
this into the
topic.
notes? Can you copy these in
Uh,
your notes, if you don't mind?
Sure. Sure. Copy maybe here. And today's group session 10, and today is June 8. Okay. Take it. Okay. And did I change the name here? 8. Okay. Well, one second.
Can you put a note on top of them like it's overload? That way we'll remember.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe public class overload, right? That's how you can recall it, or I can also give here. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So now I'm moving to different topic. Uh, and this is inheritance. Then we have discussed about polymorphism, right? Overload here in the middle. Okay. Actually, this portion right here. Okay. So we are done with overload. Now we will start explaining override, right? Need to be some override. Just copy it here and paste it, and then we will explain hiding maybe, and then shadowing. Okay, so let's start with we have completed explaining the overload. Now we will start with override. it works, right? So let me give you some notes as usual about the override. So override, we have to keep three things in mind, right? Overload, this these are two key points to understand for overload. Number one, number two. Override, we need to keep three things in mind. Okay, and so override. Number one is uh, return type, right? Method name, and parameter have to be same. Okay. Two, so I mean, don't worry about the last two now. I will explain those. But very important is the first one: return type, method name, and method. The parameter have to be the same, right? So as we know, method name and method and the parameter list can be referred as method signature, right here. Method name and the parameter can also be referred as method signature. That means actually not three things, actually two things: return type and method signature. We have to focus on return type and method signature. Maybe in the bracket I can write. So return type plus method signature. So we will focus on these two, and we are saying that this has to be the same, right? And when override happen, overload happen whenever you load a different, I mean, two methods with same method name. In that time, overload happens, right? Override happens whenever you have two class. Let's say I'm creating a class now here. Let's say it's new class. Let's say person, and one more class I'm creating under S10, and I'm calling that student, right? So I have two class. One is called person, one is called student. In my person class, excuse me, let's say I have a function or method called public static void. Just give a name. What name I can give? Let's say add any number, any number, any number, right? So, so this is one of my function under person, a method, right? And I can have a print line statement. Let's say I can tell here printing PRINTI from person class, right? So now, if the student extends person, right? So now notice that person is a superclass here and student is a subclass here, right? Person is a parent class, student is a child class, right? And person has a method called add. So in my last session, I explained that if a class extend another class, that means all the methods and fields will automatically add it to the child class. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay. So that means this this person class, this method is by default also inside of student class, right? How can we prove it? We can prove it in this way. Let's save all this. So let's say person has a method called add. Student does not have a method called add. Now from the main, right? If I tell that person, sorry, if I write person dot add, right? And if I print, if I run the program, it says printing from person class, right? From here, printing from person class. But student does not have that method. So let's see what happens if I call it from student. Student dot add. Now if I run the program, I'm getting the same. How? Because last class I explained, right? Last session I explained. Even though I don't have that method, since I extended that class, I have all the features of person inside of my student class. Now what happened if even though I have it here by default, now I copy this,
Brother
and
Alam,
paste it here.
the main class, the main class is
Yes.
not extended from person, is it? The student is extended from person,
Right.
right? So it can inherit.
Main is a completely different. Main is a completely different class. Main is just using just to run the program, nothing else.
Oh, main just to run the program, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could have written this main method inside of this function, these classes as well. I just separated this, not to be confused. I mean, main is a completely different. I mean, don't think about main at all. We are concentrating on person and student, right? And main is just to run the program.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever I explained, I just explained that. So person, I can from the main, I can print, I can call the add class, add function of person class, right? Because I have that here. And if I run it, I get the printing from person class, this text right here. So if instead of person, if I write student, what's going to happen?
The same.
Should not print.
I should print.
Exactly. Yeah, same because of is a I extended it's a subclass, right? So subclass by default is getting all the features from the superclass. So you don't have to worry. It will also print the same thing. Now what happens if I copy this? Even though I have this function in my subclass, if I copy this and paste it here, what's gonna happen? So if I write now, if I tell printing from student class. So now, if I run the program, which function will be used? This function or this function?
The other function, the student function.
Why?
It's gonna override the person because you're calling the student.
Or I'm calling the student?
Yeah, it's gonna print from student instead of from person class.
Yeah, and yes, you are right. And what is the reason for that?
Because we're overriding what the parent has.
Exactly, we are overriding. That's the reason the name is also override, right? So we are actually overriding, even though by default I have it, right? If I even though I comment it, it will also print, right? It will also work. Now I have same function but different implementation, right? Here it says person, here it says student. So let's see now what it will print if I run the program. It says printing from student class.
Now if you change the void to int, like for example to string, see where the void Oh no, that's the main. I'm sorry.
Right.
You said if we change the return or something, it's not gonna work, right? In
Yes,
your notes.
excellent. So that is, so now we have to look at the note, right? What is the note saying? The note saying that return type, method name, and parameter has to be same, right? So return type, what is return type? Void, right? Method name, what is method name? Add.
Add.
And the parameter. These three has to be the same. Then this will work as a override method, right? So let me give you an example. Um, Instead of void here, if I have int, right? Then I have to return a int, okay? And now, if I call this function, if I execute it, which function it will pick? One second. This is int. First of all, this cannot be int. Okay, so copy this and paste it here. Okay, I have the same thing now, and let's make it person. So far so good, right? We understood this personal. So now my concern is if I make this change instead of void, right? If I write something else, if I write, let's say this is int, right? And return one also, and let's say this is void. So now notice that both, why I'm getting error. The return type is
Return is different, right?
okay.
It's int and
So exactly. So basically, you cannot even write the same name with different method. I mean, different return type, right? So the thing is, you must, if you use the same method name, if you do the override, it has to be void. There is no choice. Okay, and you, if it's void, if it is void, then you cannot return any number. So here the concept is very simple. So you have the same method name, right, with a different implementation. So if the subclass has the same method name with the different implementation, and if you call it from the main function, it will print the original, the student one, not the person one. Is the concept clear? Who is still confused? Okay, so let me test it. Let me do some create some object, and let me ask you a question. Then I will understand if you understood that or not. So I have a function called add, right? And student also, I'm creating a function called add, right? And in my main, I'm going to main now, and in my main, I want to create a function, create an object from person class. So how can I create object from person? Person p equal new person. Okay. So I have a object called p. Now I will tell p dot add. Now I want to run the program, and who can tell me what it will print? Will it print printing from person class, or will it print printing from this is the student class? Anyone?
Person.
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 Person. Okay. Let me try. Yes. It says printing from person class. Excellent. Now I want to create another object from student class. Student as equal new student, and I want to say as dot add. I want to comment out this. Now, can anyone tell me what it will print?
Student.
Student from
From student.
From student. Okay, let me try. Excellent. Now I want to create another class, person P2 equal new student. Now can anyone tell me what it will print?
student.
Student.
As dot add. I mean P2 dot s, right? P2 dot add. So will it print student or person?
Student.
Student. This one it prints, right? The apparent, I mean not the type of apparent one, the actual type it printed, right? This one. Now my question is, if I don't have this, I commented out this line, and I want to execute the program.
From person.
This P2 dot add, P2 dot add
From person.
from person. Okay, let me try from person. You saw what is the beauty of this? So whenever you have this sub function, I mean this function with the same method name is speaking this one, otherwise is speaking from the super class one. So that is the technique is called the overriding. So whenever you have multiple objects, you can actually, I mean, whenever you have parent class and subclasses with the same method, then you can write this override function and you can call this in this manner. Is there any questions from
To
anyone?
recap, the overload is within the same class, right?
Exactly. Overload has to be in the same class.
Okay.
And override happens between subclass and superclass. I mean, superclass and subclass.
Yes.
Right? Any question from anyone at this point? Okay. So if no question, and I can give it to some more examples, but let's finish the topic. Let's pick the second one. I mean the third one. Third one was the hiding, right? Before hiding, what I got here, sub method cannot use weaker access modifier, right? That means that you can keep that in mind actually, not very important. So if this is um, private, and then in the sub method you cannot, it can be public, but let's see, if it is public, it cannot be private, I believe, right? It cannot be private. It says cannot reduce the visibility of the inherited method from person. So this is because of this rule, right? It says sub method cannot use the weaker access modifier. So since I have not explained what is the modifier, I mean the public private, I am not going to deep into this. I will explain this after explaining the uh, encapsulation, right? So okay, you can just remember this for now, just as it is. And I'm saying here new Java also supports subclasses as a return type, right? That is actually just whatever I explained last time, just is not related with this override directly. But as I mentioned last time, if we have a function that's returning, let's say, person, right? So in this function, we have to return a person type, right? So return new person, right? So this function is the return type of this function is person. That's why I have to return a person object from here, right? But in the new version of Java, it says you can also return the student type. Student means student is the subclass of person, right? So you can actually also return student. I'm not getting any error, right? So this is whatever is saying here. New Java also supports subclasses as a return type. Don't worry about these two lines. If you understand this line properly, you understood override. Okay. And once again, override is also very, very, very important for the SDET interview. Okay, so now let's move to the next topic. Next topic was hiding, right? So let me write some note about hiding, then I will explain. So hiding is happens during inheritance, right? When um, okay, so it happens during inheritance between subclass and superclass, right? This we have to remember. And okay, so let's give an example, then it will be clear. So it happens during inheritance, and we understood inheritance, right? Last time we explained what inheritance is and how it works. Inheritance means we just also have explained, right? Whenever a class extended from another class can be called as inheritance, right? And that is a either relationship. So now I have two class here, person and student. Person and student, right? Let's say my person has a field Okay, so let's say I have a method here, field here, string name. Well, okay. Let me think about this little. Okay, it will be the name instead of okay name. Let's say driver, right? And let's save it. Let me go to main and call it from here, right? So first create, let's delete this. Okay, so I have a person object. If I write p dot name, right? If I want to print this, print line, who can tell what it will print? So I have a field here. So this is method, right? Don't confuse. So this is method, this is field. I have a field here called name, and the value of the initial value of this field is cyber. Now from the main, I created one object from person called p, and in the print line statement, I'm saying p dot name. So p came from person class, p dot name. So what it will print?
Cyber.
Let me try cyber. Okay, excellent. So if I write as dot name, notice that as means student does not have any field called name. But if I execute the program, what it will print?
Same thing. Cyber.
Same thing, because it is it inherited from the person class, right? So it's saying cyber as well, right? Now the question is, if I copy this line, paste it here, and write instead of cyber, let's say I wrote boolean. Now I want to run the program. What it will print?
Boolean.
Boolean. Let me check. Yes, it says boolean. Excellent. Okay, and now if I take if I comment out this line, if I execute the program now, what it will print?
The same, Boolean.
It printed cyber.
Oh, you took, what did you took? Did you take it from student or? Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
took the, I'm
I
sorry.
commented this line.
I thought you
Okay.
commented the person, sorry. The.
Okay, no. All right. So, yes, so if I take off the comment and if I execute it, now it will print
Yeah,
boolean,
Boolean, yes.
right? So
Yes.
very simple. This is called hiding. Hiding means during inheritance, right? So what is the definition of hiding? Whenever you have a field same as the superclass, that means you are hiding the field, the name field from the superclass. This is called hiding. So hiding is simple, is almost same as the
Isn't it almost same as
override.
override?
Yes,
I
it
was
is
gonna ask you,
almost
what's the
same as
difference between
override.
yeah, what's the difference
So
between over?
whenever the term override comes, you have to think only about method. Override,
Okay. Yes.
uh, override is for method, hiding is for field, but the process is same. You can think of that way,
Okay, I got it.
right? So same thing, but the method and the field. Okay, so hiding is very simple. Is I just noticed that is exactly same as override. Just
Brother, what are
is
we hiding?
happening.
Can you go back to the program? What are we hiding there? Like when we go back
Yes.
to
So here, what we are hiding, right? So let's
yes.
say I am creating a person object. Person, let's say person one equal new student. So we have created a person object, right? From person class, right or wrong? Yes, no?
What was the question?
Yes, correct. The person, he created person object from person class. So person one is the object,
Right.
person is a class.
It,
Right. So now if I tell person one dot name, right? So what it will print?
Boolean.
If I Boolean, okay. So let me try.
Wait, did it print cyber?
One second.
Comment, yeah, he did it. Okay.
Yes, it printed cyber, right?
Okay, why is that? Can you go back to student? Can you go back to student?
Okay. Student. The student is printing the.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So student has boolean and
Yes.
person has cyber, right?
Cyber,
In the
yes.
main, whenever you have person one equal new student, it and person one dot name, it printed cyber, not the boolean one, right? Okay. So yes, I am also a bit confused. So let me check from the override point of view. Let's comment these two lines, right? For the override, we did person p equal new person, right? This the same as this, and override also p and s, right? So it has add method, and the student also had add method, right? So now for the override, if I tell p dot add, right? Which one it should print? This one or this one?
Can you go back?
Anyone?
Can you go back to the other one? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the from person. Oh, did you change to student? Now this one's gonna be from student.
Student? Okay.
Yes, if you run it.
Student,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is what you have to keep in mind. Okay? What you just asked me question, right? What is the major difference between overwrite and hiding?
Yes.
So this is the major difference. So in this case, if I execute these two lines, so person one equals new student, and system.out.println person one dot name, right? So it will pick the field from person one, not from student. Now what it will print? Can anyone explain?
Boolean?
I mean,
But
that's what I thought
this
earlier.
line will print? Yes. So what this line will print?
Well, we run it and we printed cyber, but
Yes. So that's what it is, right? So it will print it will pick the parent one, the apparent one, the parent field, not the sub field. So hiding only happens whenever you have this, like.
can you go back, brother Alam? Go back to the person, if you don't mind. Go back to the person class. Okay. Name cyber, and then you go to this. Somebody's talking.
That should be in cyber.
Yeah. It's gonna print cyber, and the student. You go to the student. Click on the student class. Student class. So I guess you only can override if it's a method. If it's
Yes,
not a method,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but how can you hide? If I ask you how? Oh, I mean, what is the answer? How can you hide a field?
Well, that's the question I have.
Okay, so for the hiding, you have to, let's say, if you make an object um, student one equal new student, right? And if you tell system.out.println student one dot name, right? So what it will print now?
I'm thinking Boolean.
Cyber.
From the person?
Boolean, right?
Yeah, Boolean, yes. From student.
Yes, exactly, Boolean, right? So
Yes.
let me try Boolean. But what it's supposed to print? It's supposed to print cyber, right? Because this field is by default inherited to student class. Because the
Yes.
student is the subclass of person class, right?
Yes.
So that means we are hiding this. We are hiding name. So that is the concept of hiding.
But on the
got it?
coding, though, you're saying to pull that one. Go back to your
Okay.
main. Go back to your main.
So here in student, whenever I wrote this line, if I do not have this line, what's gonna happen? If I do not have this line, right? If I execute, if I run the program, what it will print?
Cyber.
Cyber. Okay. Okay. Now it printed cyber. Now if I ask you, how can you hide cyber? Is there any way you can hide cyber? How can you do it? So the way of hiding the cyber is you have to hiding. I mean, you have to write the field. This is called the hiding technique. If you write this, it will be the hiding technique, right? So if you write this, then it will be hidden, and if you execute it, then the boolean is printed, and the cyber was hidden. Okay. Okay, so where is the confusion now?
It's a little bit different than the override. Is easy to understand.
Okay, override is easy to understand, but yeah. So for the hiding, just at the end, it will be little opposite, exactly opposite, right? Opposite means this part right here. This part you have to remember. So hiding is you are just hiding this part, right? So you understood override, right?
Yes.
Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and don't mix up with hiding right now, because override is very important. Hiding is not that much important, and eventually you will understand what hiding is once you deal with override more.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you go to the main, can you go to the main, if you don't mind, just main, the main. Okay. No, I get this one when you have a student, and then you create an object. You create in the object a student one from student, right?
Yes.
And then the person one, where do we create the object? Person one, is it from person or from student? You see, when you have
So
person one equal to new student.
right.
Where do we create that?
Yes.
From person one, or yeah, or we create it from
I
student?
mean, are you talking about hiding or overriding?
No, I'm talking about the hiding.
Okay, hiding. So hiding, if I do not have, if I comment out this line, if I execute, I mean, just concentrate on these two lines.
Yeah,
So
we
if
would get cyber.
will get cyber, right? So
Yes,
now if I
cyber.
ask you to hide cyber, how can you do it? How can you hide cyber?
We just unhighlight or whatever,
We just we just copy this line
copy. Yes,
and paste it on here and give a different name.
different
And
name.
we are saying that I mean this is hiding. We just have hided cyber. So that's the concept of hiding. Okay. So now Boolean is printed instead of cyber.
So are you saying that you're giving nickname to hide? Like you're actually giving a different name?
Exactly.
Is that what it
Yes.
is?
But yes. So this is the case, right? But when the cyber will be printed, who can tell? So cyber will be printed whenever the apparent type and actual type will be different. Let's say person PP equal new person. I mean new student, right? And if I tell system.out.println, so who can tell what it will print now? Anyone?
Whatever it is, student class.
I'm sorry. What it will print?
I think brother Sadiq said whatever it's in the student, which is Boolean, right? Sadiq?
Yeah.
It should print whatever is in the
That's what I
person,
thought, but
right?
that's what I thought, but it's gonna print cyber.
Exactly. It will print
Yeah.
cyber.
It's
So
so
that is the
confusing,
only
but
technique you have to remember. That is the only technique. So that is called. So in that time, the apparent it will pick the field from the apparent type, not the actual type. So that is the little different you have to. I mean, technique you have to remember. Okay.
yes. In
Except that.
the override it will print whatever in the student, but in the hiding, it always, if you have mixed, it'll always go to the parent.
All right. If the apparent type and actual type is different, then
Yes.
only. Otherwise, not. Okay. So it will print cyber. So don't. Okay. I mean, don't worry if you did not get that part. Don't worry at all. If you understand up to the hiding, I mean the override part, you are fine. Hiding, we will understand slowly. Don't worry about that. But if you understood now, it's good. Okay. I believe all of you already understood, but it's okay if you confuse again. So is there any question before I move to shadowing? Is there any question from override, overload, and hiding?
Hiding, I won't ask any question right now. And override, overload, I'm good.
Yes.
So hiding, do you have questions from hiding?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Anyone else?
We're good.
Okay. So now let's move to the shadowing. So shadowing, give some note here, happens within a class. Uh, okay, and okay. So now, if I tell, let's go here, create instead of a method, um, maybe instead of OP, okay, let's see here. Let's work on here maybe. Hmm. So let's say comment it out. I don't need this two line. And let's say you have a field called name. So I can tell public string name. Sorry. And now, can I take okay, static? Okay. So now in my this is my main method, right? And this is the field, and this is the main method, right? And let's say I'm saying that system dot out dot print line name. So if I run the program, what it will print?
Fiverr.
Let me check. It printed cyber. So how it got the name cyber? Because this is a field. Field means it's a global variable, right? Since I declared it here, right, is getting the name and
Yes.
Well,
yes,
what's
right.
inside? What's
So
inside the student and person? Did you change it? I'm sorry, I stepped out. Oh,
no.
the upside. Oh, it's the same. You
Those
didn't
are
change it.
same. Yeah, those are
Oh,
same.
okay,
He just created a
just
kind
make
of
it.
global variable. That's all.
Yeah.
Public static string.
So I have a field called city, and the value is Dallas, right? And if I execute it, it will print Dallas,
Dollars.
right? So
Yep.
this is so far so good, right? And I have access of city from here because this is a global variable. Even though if you have one more method, let's say public static void my method, right? So this is one more method I have created. I can also I have access of this city, right? See, it's not complaining. I created one more method and I can access this because this is a global variable, right? So now if I call this method, if I write my method, what this method will print? Who can tell? I'm calling
Dollars
this
too.
method.
It's still
Dollars.
print
Cyber, right?
Dallas. Yeah, no, print Dallas.
Dallas, right? Yes. Okay. So far so good. So and here now, here I am declaring a local variable. Let's say string city equal Chicago, or maybe New York. So now I want to run it now and take one from here, take off this from here. Don't worry about this right now. Think about this only. So now if I execute the program, what city it will print?
New York.
New York.
Both.
Why? Will it print? Will it take the global variable or will it pick the local variable?
The local.
Local.
I think I will do both.
Okay.
No, because you have it up. Can you comment the one up? It's gonna print both, right?
This?
Both. Yeah.
No,
it was
the method up is gonna print Dallas, and the one on the
What
bottom
is-
is gonna print New York.
No, this method I have commented, right? So don't worry about this method right now. Just worry about
Yeah.
this city.
No,
and
New
this
York.
city.
New York.
Okay. So so to you are thinking that the local variable, it will pick the local variable, not the global, right? Okay. So let me try it, and it says New York. You are right, right? It cannot print both, right, Selena? Because at a time it can take only one variable, right?
one thing at a time.
So-
Okay, and then it takes the newest variable.
Right. So it took the local variable. So whenever I declared a variable, before this, the stack had a variable called city. So whenever I declared a local variable, that means I am shadowing the field.
Okay.
I'm shadowing
So can I?
global field.
Got it. But can I say another thing, like leave line number 15 on line number 16? Can you type in string city equal to maybe Detroit and see would it print the Detroit then and skip the New York?
Yes,
No.
why not? It should. How do you spell Detroit?
Detroit.
Okay. So what? So can I mean, first of all, can I declare two strings? The
No,
same
it's going to be probably city one. Maybe now we have to do city one, then it's going to print Detroit. I get it.
Okay. So now, I mean, what it will print? Detroit or New York?
Detroit.
Okay, let me try. Detroit. Yes. So it is taking
Instead of, you know, how you
latest
took
one
the
from.
string, how you took the string off, instead of doing that, can I do city one, string city one, and still keep the string? And then,
Like city one and city two?
yeah, or just city and city one, instead of city one and city two.
Yes, we can do it.
And then it will
But
still
here,
print Detroit.
It's
why it
gonna
will
bring
print Detroit? It will print New York, right? It will print
Because
New
you're
York,
calling the
right?
city. You wanted to print the city.
Oh, yeah,
Not
because
city
I'm
one, yeah.
looking, oh, yeah, because the print, yes, got it. Thank you.
You can make a city one, city two, print tell us.
So at that time, I have to
Right.
actually change it on print line saying city one, if I want.
Right. But
Okay.
here, our main goal is to understand this city and this city. This is field and this is local. So by writing this, by declaring this local variable, we are shadowing this field.
Got it.
That is the concept, right? And now, just going a bit deep into it, if I have, let me, okay. So I have, okay, it's actually delete this. So I have a method here saying city, right? And I am telling here that string city equal New York, right? And I am calling this method from here. Now my question is, if I run the program, what it will print?
Tell us.
Okay. How about Brother Hila and Sister Selena? So I am calling this method, that means this method, right? And this method is saying to print the city, right? So city, will it print Dallas or will it print New York?
But you're not printing anything under the main. You're only printing under the main method. You're not printing anything under the main method.
Yeah, under main, I am calling the method, right?
Yes.
This method. So this
Yes.
method will, so I mean this method, right? So
Yes.
this thing will should be executed, right?
Yes. So the
Okay.
city is Dallas.
Will it print Dallas, not New York? What is the reason?
Because in the main method, you're just calling the main method, but you're not doing anything there. You're not printing. Right?
Yeah, I'm printing here, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm printing. Okay, okay. How about this? Okay, let me actually do it this way. I can call it string, right? And I can tell return then city, right? I'm now returning city, and here I can tell system dot out dot print line, then my method, right? So now I am printing, right? I'm printing my method.
So Dallas.
Instead of print line, I'm calling this.
Dallas.
Now
I'm thinking Dallas.
and I'm updating here, right? I have a local variable called city, which is equal to New York.
I'm thinking Dallas. Badr Sadiq, you think Dallas, right?
Yeah, that's my first choice. This is
Okay.
Dallas. Because you calling
Yes,
the method.
Selenium? Okay.
Just go different, so we
Right.
can.
So, okay, so let me check. It's
Dallas.
printed Dallas, right? So you don't have to confuse with the previous example, right? So this
Yes.
is, even though I have city here, okay, you will understand if I do this now here. So what will be the second print line statement?
New York. New York.
Excellent. Okay. Just Dallas and New York, right? So this is a local variable, and the scope of this variable from here to up to the end. Whenever you call city, this city will be applied, New York, right? And this is actually coming from this Dallas, right? And for the last thing, if I write string city equal California, right? Now, if I execute the program, what it will print? That you have to understand.
California and New York.
No, it's gonna print Dallas and New York.
No, I think California and New York. Yes.
Okay. No, I mean no Dallas.
No Dallas. I mean, for me, no Dallas.
Why not? For me, I think all three of them should print.
Okay,
So
I have two print line statement, right? Two print line statement. Why you should print three?
The first one, because the line number 20 should print line number 5, okay. Right? Or no?
Okay, yes.
It's going to be California.
No, this is a method, right? Line number 20 is a method. This method I'm calling.
Which is will return California.
Which is
California,
okay, equals to California. Okay, so it will print California and New York, not Dallas.
No Dallas.
Okay, so California and New York, right? So let me try. I run the program. It says California and New York. Excellent. Yes, you guys did well. So California and even though I have a field now, this field is not. I'm not using this field at all, right? Because this by declaring this local variable, I shadowed this field. Also, by declaring this global variable, local variable, I shadowed the field. That is the concept of shadowing, right? But if I do not have, if I do not use this, then my If I do not have this and this line, then it will always print dollar. Run as it will always print dollar, right? How we are shadowing this? Using the shadowing technique. I mean the declaring the local variable. So is there any question from shadowing?
No.
Anyone else? Okay, so what we did is actually we from the object-oriented programming language concept or the OOP concept, we have pretty much four big terms. One is called inheritance, one is called polymorphism, and then encapsulation and abstraction, right? So we are done with inheritance last session. This session we are done with polymorphism, right? In inheritance, what we have is a relationship and has a relationship. When is a relationship happen? Whenever you extend a class. That means whenever you create relationship between subclass and superclass or parent class or child class. That is the is a relationship and has a relationship whenever you import a class. In that time you have all the access of those field and method of the class that you have imported. But whenever you import a class, by default you will not get anything. But in is a relationship, by default all the fields and method become the component of that class as well. But has a relationship is not doesn't work that way. So in inheritance we are clear from the last session, and this session we are clear about polymorphism. Last session I explained the definition of polymorphism, and this session I explained how override, overload, hiding, and shadowing works. So
Brother Alam,
yes.
quick question. When we import a class, we only can use the stuff that we define that we want to use, like for example the scanner, right? We
Yes.
don't inherit everything, but we can only use the stuff that we declare or right from that class. Like we want to like get the input of a user from, for example, we have to create an object and then get the input of the user, right?
Right. So let's say if I want to import a scanner, what I have to write? Import java.util.scanner. Right. So what we are importing actually, if I open the scanner class, if I write Java scanner API, right, I can see what I am actually importing. So from the scanner class, we are importing basically this method right here, all these methods, right, and some fields. It doesn't have any fields. So we are basically importing all these methods, right? And I just want to show you something. If I open Java API itself, not the scanner, and we know that a scanner is a class of the package. What's the name of the package? Util, right? So go to the util package. Where is the util package? Right here, java.util, and this package has these classes, right? Same. What we are doing, we are creating package. Under package, we are creating classes, right? In Java API also, in the same structure, right? They have their packages. These are all packages, and these are all classes. These are not all classes. If you click on each package, you will get class of that package. Let's say if I click on java.awt, now these classes are under this package. If I click on java.io, these are the classes of java.io. Now I am giving example of java.util, right? So util has these classes, this package, and these classes should include a class called a scanner, right? So now look for that class scanner right here, scanner. Yeah. So this is the class we have imported, and once you import this class, you will have access of all these constructor, methods, and fields. you have access of all this, right? If you want to import all these classes in one shot, right? You just have imported one class, right? A scanner. Let's say you want to import random, you want to import properties, you want to import objects, you want to import everything of this package. In that time, you just write a star instead of a scanner. You just write a star. Now what happened? Now you imported all these classes, not only scanner, all these classes, right? So in that way you can. So how many classes we have? So in Java API, more than 4,000. So you can import those classes anytime in any class, and you in that time you will have access of those classes. You can use those fields. Let's say if I use a scanner, then now I can create an instance of a scanner, right? I can tell that scanner input equal new scanner, right? And so here now you notice that now it knows what a scanner is, from where this word came from. It now understand Java compiler now understanding. If you do not have this line, it will complain. It will tell what is the word scanner, right? Maybe it can suggest to import a scanner, right? But initially it will not even understand what is the meaning of this, right? Or if you tell right now, if I, let's say if my person class or student class is under other packages, not inside the, I mean the main, I mean let's say OOP, right? This is what. Let's say if I have another package under this, right? If I create a new package, let's say new package, and under new package, if I create a class called car, right? So now I have a class called car. So now in my main, if I try to create an object from car, can I create that or not? Car equal new car. It says it doesn't know from where car came from, right? So now how can I make this line valid? Anyone?
Import. Can you import it?
Yeah.
Right. So now I have to import the class. Import uh, new package, maybe new SDK package dot car. Right. Now I can use the car. Now whatever car will have, whatever I write here, field, method, inner class, constructor, whatever I make here, all those will be accessible from here, my
Okay,
main class.
but what I was thinking, maybe it will pull it from your other project, but it will not, right? Like how you created
Yeah,
yesterday or that last week, like it wouldn't pull it from there. You have to create a new package.
yes.
Like you,
So from the same package, you don't have to import. But if you want to use a class from a different package,
let's
then
say
you have
like,
to import a class.
hmm,
Yes, you're right.
okay.
Yeah, within the same
Yes,
package,
so brother.
you don't have to import.
Yes, so okay. By default, so by okay. Also, remember that by default, in Java import Java dot lang, right? So this line is by default there. Okay.
What
Uh,
is lang? What is lang stand for? Language or what?
language language. So
Okay.
did you ever think? I mean, did you ever think that you are using this let's say this system class, right? But you never imported system, right? Did you
Yes.
ever import system?
No.
You never, right? So from
Yes.
where this is coming from?
That's a
So by
language.
default, yes. So by default, some kind of packages should be imported, right? To do the basic stuff.
Yes.
So that's the reason java.lang is by default. Okay, so let's look for java.lang package. So here here, if I go java dot lang right here, so lang should have the system. Can you see system here? So this is the reason you have access of system. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see string?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the reason we can use this features in our, even though we do not load anything, do not import anything, we have access of these all classes. Yeah, so that is the actually okay, and you understood that one by default two packages imported automatically. What are those packages? Can anyone tell?
Java 2. I mean Java
One
link.
one is lang. Okay, another one is anyone?
No.
Okay, another one is its own package, right? Own package.
Oh, package. Yeah. Yeah.
See, yeah, see, from student, I mean from person, right? Person class, I can tell student as equal new student, right? I just used a different class, how, but I never imported student class, right? So how can I use student? Because the student is under same package. So all we have to understand, by default, the own package and the Java lang package from Java API is imported automatically, right? That we have to remember. And what other techniques we have learned? So using a star, we can actually import all the package, all the classes of that package without importing one by one. But this is not convenient because you are taking too much space. If you write a star in your program in the runtime, it will take a bigger space because all these classes will take space from your RAM. So this is not a good practice. Whenever you need any class, just import that class only. That time your program will take less space. Okay, so I have explained overwrite, overload, hiding, and shadowing, and we remain so the remaining topics is abstraction and encapsulation from OOP, right? And we are also missing exception. We are also missing data structure, and we are also missing some other small topics from the Java syllabus. I have given the syllabus at the beginning of the semester, so we are also missing some topics there. All those will be covered in the recovery session, as I promised, right? And Brother Moshid will make some announcement in the group chat. And on Saturday, you will have a last class with Brother Tarek. And Sunday, you must join. There will be no class, but there will be some announcement. And Brother Moshid and Samsuddin, they will explain how the recovery class will happen, how the rest of the semester will go, and what the other topics like SQL, Selenium, load runner, what is the schedule for those, what is the break for, when will be the break for Eid. So those announcements will be made on Sunday. So please do not miss class on Sunday. And if you know anyone, please tell them to join on Sunday as well. In our
Same time, like
semester, yeah.
10 in the morning, right?
So it'd be
Yes, 10 in the morning.
same time, class time. Okay, Sunday.
Okay.
Yes, class time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
And
Thank you for
Yeah,
yeah,
your-
no problem. And basically, this is the last group session for this Java class. But we will have some other session. But today, officially, this is the last group session.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Is there any question from topics or outside of topic from anyone?
So the rest of them
If
is
not-
going to be covered during the normal class time, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, you are joining, right? I mean, Saturday means tomorrow and day after
I
tomorrow,
mean
right?
the rest of the topic you just mentioned, the encapsulation and the
He
first
was
class
saying that
Oh,
he's saying that there's gonna be an announcement made in order to recover. So at that time they'll have
Makeup classes. There'll be
yes.
makeup classes. Yeah. So makeup
So
classes will
actually,
cover
I
those
will cover
topics.
those. I will cover those. I am not sure what Brother Tarek is going to cover. I'm not sure about that, but I'll be responsible, I mean, for those. So don't worry, I'll be there.
Yeah, there's gonna be like during normal class time or this so during the group session time.
During normal class time, not in the group session. During normal class time,
Thank you.
on the
Hey,
recovery session. No
I have
problem.
a question. Did the brother
Sure.
Tariq uploaded his class on Sunday, on Saturday? Because I'm not seeing any videos.
Okay, if not, then I can inform Brother Murshid. Did he or not?
I'm not sure. I didn't see anything. Brother Siddiq, did he record the class, the two classes?
He did.
Yeah, because I had difficulty whenever he told me to switch to desktop, I get kicked out and I wasn't able to log back in. So, but I haven't seen email or something that about a video or
So
anything.
if
I mean normally it is on
if he already
the
shared, but if
YouTube.
you do not have access, please ask Brother Murshid. He can help you for those videos.
Yeah, I'll send him an email because I went to Google Drive. I didn't see them there too.
Okay. Also, you can just tag Brother
They're
Murshid on the group chat.
YouTube.
Just tell him that you did not get the video.
All right.
Okay. Is there any other question? If not, we can wrap up the session here.
I see them now.
Otherwise,
May 28 and May 29, they are on there.
No, the June. This past Sunday was June 2nd, 3rd, right?
Yeah, no, those are not in yet.
Yeah,
The
it was
last video is May 29.
yeah, we had June 2nd and June 3rd. They're not there.
They're not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys.
Okay.
Inshallah.
So thank you,
Inshallah.
and yeah, I'll see you guys
Salam
next time. Bye.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.